Is a pleasure to welcome to the program someone who I've actually been a fan of for, God, I feel like maybe it's like 3 years. Benjamin Dixon of the Benjamin Dixon Show, the founder of the Progressive Army. Ben, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, Sam.
So, all right, let's start here. Okay, I'm looking at a Washington Post headline from this morning at 8:52 a.m. Trump may hire multiple cable news personalities as part of a shakeup. Here is the lineup right now. Now, I just read another piece that said that that apparently Flynn and Kelly and Trump have been having a bit of a quarrel, and now they've sort of buried the hatchet for the moment. H.R. McMaster is out, or en route to be out.
Right.
Trump is considering Fox News contributor John Bolton. They're talking about getting rid of David Shulkin from the Veteran Affairs. He had this scandal about paying for his wife's visit to Europe. With Pete Hegseth of Fox and Friends Weekend. Larry Kudlow, as you know, has just been named to replace Gary Cohn. Heather Nauert, a former co-host of Fox and Friends, got promoted from being a spokesperson from the State Department to the acting Undersecretary of State for Public Diplomacy and Public Affairs. That's a bit of a
Sam, you're giving me anxiety here. That you're building up the anxiety in me right now.
There should be. We should all be nervous about this. I mean, she's replacing a longtime diplomat, guy who's worked in the State Department for a long time. This guy, Steve Goldstein, who was fired because he publicly told the truth about Rex Tillerson's firing.
Right.
Tillerson's gone. It's not like he was a bastion of diplomatic skill, but at least he seemed to be interested in some form of diplomacy. There's two things that strike me about this, and then I wanted to get your reaction. One is McMaster and Tillerson were the I don't want to say the bulwarks, but were the biggest obstacles to unwinding the Iran deal. And I just saw a piece today too, where Mattis is now, and Mattis has gone sort of back and forth on Iran, it seems to me. But on yesterday, Mattis accused Iran of using money to sway Iraq's elections, which is a pretty stunning claim, considering we nearly flattened Iraq, which I imagine also influenced elections there. But give me your sense of what's of just how insane this is.
It's madness, and I don't think we can overstate that. But if you consider the fact that Donald Trump really gets his ideas and policy from Fox News every single morning, I think this is the president just streamlining that process. Why watch them on the news? I could just put them in the administration. That's honestly the way I see this. And then the second thing, I honestly believe that he is removing any barrier for him to do exactly what he wants to do. Like you said, with not Mattis, but Tillerson, they weren't the exact type of diplomats that you would want, but they did stave off any type of serious disaster, or at least they were trying to. And now Donald Trump is going to have a free reign with people like John Bolton. I think that may be the name that gives me the most anxiety, because of his just penchant for any war is a good war for him. So these are things that I really think we're going to be led by a Fox News policy outlet now.
I mean, I get the sense, honestly, based on what we know, look, he just had lunch with Jesse Waters and Seb Gorka. But we know that he's talking to Sean Hannity every day. And I think it's quite possible that Sean Hannity is just basically laying out his entire agenda for him and saying, Hegseth, he's a smart dude. He works the weekends here. And honestly, I think this is what's happening, and I think you're absolutely right. Over the past 3 or 4 weeks, there's been a couple of stories about how Trump sort of, and you can almost see it. He's been, I hate to say this, but a little bit more confident. He's been, every time you see him on TV, he's got the arms folded like El Duce, and there's a quality of he's starting to realize I can do almost whatever I want. I don't need daddy's approval here.
Mm-hmm. I think, Sam, that's the part that's the scariest, right? Because Donald Trump can, I honestly think at this point that bottom percentage, I think, 33% at his lowest, those people, it does not matter. He said it during the primaries or during the election that he can shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with it. He's starting to show that to be true, because there's a certain group that will not say anything about what Donald Trump does. Not only that, but they'll explain it away, they'll justify it, and they will try to convince everyone else that this is the smart thing to do. But what's even more worrisome than that base of 32% is the percentage above that gets them close to 49%, maybe 50% in the broader electorate, that are indifferent to what Donald Trump does, or they like what he does in terms of tax policy, so that they'll sit back and allow him to do anything else that he wants to do. And now the fact that the emperor has no clothes on, he's really starting to prance around and show the world that, hey, I honestly I can put Fox News consultants or commentators in my cabinet, even though they have no experience whatsoever. This is Trump showing the world that he can shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with it.
And to further that point, this week he was caught on tape in a fundraiser.
Yeah.
Brag, you know what I'm talking about with the Justin Trudeau thing. Speak about that, because that is the fact that he feels confident enough to sort of concede this. Now, maybe he's just so self-aggrandizing that it's like someone who pulls off, someone who's cheating at cards but brags about it while you're still at the table in some way. This is the guy who usually that guy end up getting shot, in the Westerns or whatever.
Right.
But, all right. So, just remind people what happened.
So, with Justin Trudeau, Trump was just at a fundraiser this week, and he bragged about not having any information or any evidence to substantiate the claim that he asserted against another head of state. He told Justin Trudeau that that we have a trade deficit with them, and Trudeau, of course, likes it. No, we don't. And they went back and forth to the point where they had to send each of their individual guys out to research it on the spot. But Trump was laughing about the entire time. He knew that he had no idea whether or not we had a trade deficit or not. So it becomes almost a spectacle, right? Does it even matter to people that the president of the United States is lying in, using no information? I was going to say fake news or false information, but a complete absence of information to make an assertion that can cause problems with another head of state. Does that matter to the voters? Well, apparently not, because it's just got washed away with the rest of the news cycle. And so here we are with a president who is not only lying, but also bragging about the ability to lie. And now the worst part of it is that they're all laughing about it. This is a punchline. Well, he's still the president of the United States, mind you. His words still carry a significant amount of weight. And if we're just going to laugh about that, then that doesn't bode well for us going forward.